Hey YouTube, coming with a cleaning review of my Smith & Wesson M&P Shield. This one is chambered in 9mm, but it would also work for a 40 as also. So let's get to the cleaning. First, you want to do a safety check. Release your mag out of there, drop mag out, rack slide back, do a visual check. Also rack it a few times. Do another visual just to make sure it's out and no rounds are in there. First thing you'd have to do is it's a disconnect in here, shear disconnect, and you will see it'd be kind of like highlighted green inside your gun. You want to pull that down. You got to take a flathead screwdriver. I'm using a very small thin Allen key. You take your lever here, your takedown lever, rotate that down, slide comes off. Now you take out your recoil spring and your barrel. First of all, I'm using Hops 9, just some Hops 9 here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak it a little bit, and I'm going to stick it in the barrel. And you want to get that barrel good and soaking. You want it soaked like really wet, and just let it sit for a while. Next, I'll grab the slide and I'll kind of just, you see, I'm using this here, this brass cleaning rod, but what I'll do is still, if I won't mar my finish, I kind of wrap that around there, and I'll take it and I'll wipe the inside out. Be careful, you don't want any solvents on your where your firing pin comes out. And just rub and go down the sides here, and you just want to get it not soaking wet, but you want it just to make sure you see a coat of the hops on there or whatever solvent you're using. Let that sit there. I'll go down to the bottom here, and I'll do the same thing with it. Anywhere that I can see visually, I'll rub this across there, especially anywhere you see carbon build up at. It's going to be hard to kind of get behind the connector here, but just do the best you can. Get back here in the rear, and all against the slide here. You got the slide rails. You go against it with this. Okay, hit the injector. You can hit the mag well if you would like. Okay, now let that soak. I give it just a second to soak, and we'll start working back on the barrel. So what I'll do is I'll grab me a fresh patch. See, this one's pretty dirty here. Grab a fresh one. What I'll do is I'll work this barrel. And you really don't want it like, it's not going to come maybe white, super white, but it will come fairly clean. You won't have to worry about your gun malfunctioning on you. And what I do is I fairly just go down and make sure I get everything out of there. And if your patch starts to get too dirty, you can just grab you another patch. You see this one's pretty dirty, so I'll just flip it over and use it the opposite way. So, alright, barrel's clean. Next I'll go to the slide. I'll just kind of wipe down where I was at. Be careful to keep that brass tip covered, because you don't want to leave marks everywhere. And you don't have to do it hard either. You can be gentle. You have to beat the gun up, especially if you clean it often. Okay. Now it's not all off, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how to get everything off of there. Now I'll go down to the bottom and I'll get as much as I can off with this. And you want to clean and wipe down everything. Like I said, you can do the mag weld if you like. Every once in a while I'll do it. You know, it depends on how dirty my firearm gets. But the whole secret to this whole thing is using a good rag. And it's just a microfiber rag. You can get them anywhere. But what it does, it grabs everything. I mean, all the hops, the oil, the carbon. It grabs everything. And then once you do this, you want your pistol completely dry after you get done. It should be dry. No hops nowhere that you can visually see. And I'm going down each part of the frame slot, like here. You want to get all in between here, back here. I mean, actually get in there and dig. I mean, you have to dig hard, but you can be able to get the surface really good. Next, I would do the same to the top slide here. I mean, you see it's all on here. And just get that towel in there and clean till you see no more hops. I mean, visually, you don't want to see any of it, because hops cleans oil and carbon off your pistol, so you don't want to have it on there. I am a little tedious with my guns. I kind of take my time with them, but I like to run down the frame, the slide where the rails go. I like to run my finger down there with the rag, so you can see how much dirt comes out of there, and carbon. So I like to run my nail in there. If you have long nails, or I don't have long nails, you can see, but I have enough that I can stick it right inside of here and clean. And if you don't have that, just use you use toothbrush, a nylon toothbrush, and just scrub down the rails. Okay, now that we've done all this, it's time for the lubrication process. Another thing is you clean your sights too. You can use your, I'll show you here. Use your nylon brush and kind of brush your sights out, because it get lint and everything from carrying your weapon. So good, just brush them out of there. Keep them good and white. All right, lubrication process. I'm using synthetic gun oil by the birchwood here. Give it a little shake. Now what I want you to do is make sure you get the slide, and you want to lube right down at the rail. Just maybe a drip or two. It depends on, this your carry gun, do 2 drips. I mean, that's all you want. And let it run down the slide. You can see there. Okay, off to the barrel. And what I'll do is I'll just put a little bit on my cloth, my patch, and I'll just run it down there a couple times, and that's it. You don't want to over lube it. You just want enough to protect it. Wiping the excess oil off, and I'll show you what we're going to do after this. Now it's time for reassembly. You want barrel in first. Guide right in. And where you see contact points at on here, where the metal is actually showing, it's good if you use grease or oil, you know, to hit those spots. I prefer high temp grease when I do use it on my weapon, but since I'm breaking it in, I'm not going to use it right now until I get the weapon really worn in. Don't have a lot of rounds through it yet. Make sure that your takedown lever is down. You simply just slide that back over, rack it to the rear. Boom. I do encourage you to hit the barrel. I should have did it when the slide was out, but I mean when the barrel was out, but just hit the barrel here, rub a little oil there, lock it back, and then you want to hit the hood of the barrel here. Just a little bit, not a lot. Just enough to wear the wear in that spot. You want to clean it there. And in order for this thing, that's a great trigger. Put the mag in to get your disconnect back down. Boom. So now when you rack it, the disconnect is back up in there. So thank you guys for watching this cleaning review of the Smith & Wesson MP9. If you're carrying your weapon, your firearm, you make sure you keep it maintained, because one day you may have to save your life or your family, somebody in your family's life, and it's good to have a perfectly lubricated gun so you'll know that it will fire and function when you need it to. So thanks again for watching this vid. If you like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you at the next vid.